holy cow. 50 million things going on at the last second here. John says, welcome. I was trying to put our stuff together and it got screwed up. So anyway, welcome to Quoth the Raven for 11/20/25. And this is our review night, and this is kind of a bittersweet episode, as this is the episode that we kind of bid adieu to one of our review crew in terms of being a regular on the Thursday night episodes. So without further ado, let me introduce my co-hosts this week, the Gobbler, and John Norris. Gobbler, sir, this is your last week with us as a regular Thursday night reviewer.
Yeah, I find myself more and more not having time to, read comics and do reviews.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I will be here on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And I will
probably be here on Tuesdays.
Yes, I will be here on Tuesdays most of the time. So,
yeah, I mean, it's not that you're leaving. It's just, I don't think it's just the time. I think as we go through reviews today, you'll see some of what's been dragging him down as well. But because I mean, it's no fun if the books we end up trying to review don't turn out the way we hope, right?
Right.
But anyway, where is it at? Oh, it's over there. Okay, never mind. I'll show you after the show what we got you. But other than that, how has the week been?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Okay.
Me neither.
Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and get started with our crazy week of review. And it's going to be playing games with me, of course, when I want to start. Alrighty, there we go. We start with The Approach, trade paperback from 2023 for $17.99 from Boom Studios. Writers are Jeremy Hahn and Jason A. Hurley. Artists are Jesus Hervas and Leah Caballero. Colors by Brett Waddell. I hope that's pronounced that right. Lettering by Ed Dukeshire. Cover and chapter breaks by Jeremy Hahn and colors by Nick Velarde. Book design by Veronica Gutierrez and Marie Trupina. Edited by Elizabeth Bray. Genre, mystery horror. Original release date was August 16th, 2023. I got it more recently as part of a Kickstarter from Mr. Hahn. What it's about. When airport employees Mac and Abigail find themselves snowed in after a blizzard, they witness a terrible plane crash, one that's been missing for 27 years. Sounds odd, doesn't it? But it's not the sky that deserves dread, but what lies beyond it. Mac, Abby, and the remaining airport crew feel helpless to stop the rampage of a supernatural predatory stowaway. With the blizzard only worsening and continuing the rage, the creature nesting in the airport, how will the stranded people survive? The monster could strike at any time and any place, and it's up to Mac and Abby to figure out how to stop it while the surviving passengers do what they can to find refuge from the horror. It's a Mac and Abby's horror the monster grows in size with each victim it consumes. Amongst the carnage, one terrifying question remains. Who or what brought this creature to their doorstep? Can they discover the secrets of their origins? Or do they hold the key? And do they hold the key? Stopping its hellish rampage, reaching the old airport terminal might be the only hope for the survivors, but the blizzard is just as deadly as the monster, and there's no way out but through. Abby struggles to be a leader for the passengers, but can only pray that the storm is enough to deter the creature that stalks them. What did I think? As I said, I got this as part of a backing a crowdfunding campaign from Jeremy Hahn. So I didn't know much about the series, as I originally missed it when it came in stores, when Boom released it. I did some research, and unfortunately, the original mystery suffered some setbacks and printing errors. And while I didn't find they made the corrections in the trade paperback, I don't know if evidence. There was no evidence that Boom did anything to fix it before the trade came out, which maybe soured. I won't say maybe it probably soured some readers on the book, because there were issues where the same page was printed 3 pages in a row.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that's never good.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, when you have something like that happen, it's simple. Just take it back, return it, you know, to the distributor, and the printer should make it right, and you re-release it when it's ready, after it's been corrected. It's time consumptive, but it's a printer mistake. The printer has to make good on it, you know?
Right.
I don't know if they actually did or not, but hopefully, you know, I just didn't find any evidence that what happened. But anyway, the story itself is very much a callback to Lovecraftian horror, and is perhaps a bit too derivative of the movies The Thing from Another World, also known as The Thing, by John Carpenter, from '82, but I'm talking about the '51 version, and The Void from 2016. I have seen better, more original writing from Han elsewhere, but it isn't like the technical craftsmanship of the writing is lacking. The characters are reasonably presented. Abby's a good lead character, and the monster looks pretty cool when we get to see it. Well, the line art didn't wow me. It feels rushed in places. Modali's art really benefits the art. The colors really benefits the art. There's a lot of need for digital color and effects in this particular story, trying to capture the effects of the blizzard and other elements going on. And I'm not sure that this series would have been able to be made in an earlier era of color and print production. I mean, it could have been, I suppose, if it was watercolored and you did a lot of, you know, like white paint spray for the snow effects, and you know, there were ways to do it technically, but I just
would have been very labor intensive.
Yes, very labor intensive indeed. So I do wish there'd been a bit more explanation as to what the creature was. There was potential to really bring in some of the Alaskan Inuit and Inupiat culture and explore their spiritual beliefs and juxtapose that against Lovecraftian superstitions and themes of reincarnation and respecting the environment and the animals of the area. Instead, it mostly focused on the actions of the characters being stalked and chased. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with that, it isn't anything that we haven't already seen elsewhere, and that might mean that readers may feel it falls flat. I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
That being said, that cover is pretty slick.
The cover is actually by Jeremy Hunt and Nick Filardi. And we're going to look at the book right now. And there's going to be other things that go on in this thing, but this is the more this is Mac, of course, trying to get ready to go to work. Big guy.
Yes, he is.
And of course, you can tell how bad the weather is because the car's off the road. But, you know, you're not going to get those kind of effects that easily without digital.
Right.
I mean, it can be done, you know, with watercolors, and I have no problem with that. But, you know, and if you notice, it's actually going out into the snow as blizzards actually going into borders as well.
I'm really digging the art on this.
Yeah. You know, it's not bad. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, John?
I think it's good.
Okay. Well, let me get to the pages where you guys get to see the beast anyway. No, that's not the beast. That's one of the victims.
Oh, move it up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, just kind of like a formless gray.
Mm-hmm. And it does change shape more and more as it gets larger and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, very Lovecraftian.
Yeah. So, again, average to above, slightly above average. Go ahead and go on to the next one. And that is the author Immortal #2 from Image Comics for $4.99. Writer Frank J. Barbieri, artist Morgan Bean, lettering Hassan Asmani Al-How, designed by Sasha A. Head, and edited by Arden Ripley. Genre, dark fantasy mystery. Release date November 12th, 2025. Rating Teen Plus. What it's about. Author Hector Ramirez is waking up in this alternate world based on the fantasy book series he loved reading as a kid and has been tasked with rebooting. Captured in a life and death situation, he's trying to explain how he's not a wizard, and yet there are these inky monsters attacking his captor that seem to be on his side, or are they? What are they? He doesn't have anything to do with it. No, it's not me. It's not me. I'm not doing it. Or does he? And does he just not realize how much danger he's truly in? I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of the character of Alethea here on the cover. I don't know about you, Chris, but I can't figure out what the top is supposed to be that she's wearing. I guess it's some sort of...
Yeah, it looks like a bikini top. I mean, for some reason, she's in a bikini top. I'm not sure why.
Well, no, I'm talking about the bolero armor jacket that she's wearing.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a short, captain's coat or something like that.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird, though. I don't know. And it's certainly not protecting her with her front open like that. And I'm not saying she needs to run around practically naked like Red Sonja or anything, but I think we could have found better ways to design a medieval fantasy warrior. Yes. I'm not a fan of how she's holding that battle axe either. It's like she's got both hands way up by the blade, and the whole handle is like way back here. That's not exactly a balanced way of holding a weapon.
Well, it was drawn by someone who's never held a battle axe before. That's all.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of story in this issue. Hector's being confronted by Alethea, and his daughter, Al, is facing off against a strange bird monster on her own, and yet all the while nothing really happens. Unfortunately, I'm really losing interest in this already on issue 2. It just lacks something, especially after trying to lay out a much more dense and rich tapestry of storyline in issue number 1. I do like Morgan Bean's art okay. It's better here in color than what it was when she did Twilight Zone number 1 in black and white. We reviewed that a month and a half ago or so, I think. But it just needs to go, the story just needs to go somewhere. Not half an issue of the lead character whining he's nobody and not to hurt him while his daughter faces mortal peril. Why not have had Alethea heard Al's cries and help her, and then realize that those two are together and lost in this world while still having suspicions about them? I shrug, confused. I don't know. I want to keep reading this book, but come on, Frank. Come on, Barrier. Pick up the ball and run it with it, please. I don't like it when they expand stories that should be probably like 1 to 3 issues into 5, 6, 8, 10 issue storylines.
Right.
And we're going to get into that a little bit later with Chris, I think. Anyway, I give this issue a 2.5, which is a significant drop from the 4 stars I gave issue number 1. Let me see here if I can find the And here's the book. And, got some cool art in here. I mean, it's a little bit, it's messy, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And I can fight monsters. And let me find the beast that the daughter's fighting.
Oh, it's a moth-like creature.
Well, actually, it's a giant bird with a what was that thing from Stranger Things called? The Gorgon Morgon or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That kind of a thing. But anyway, it's okay, but it's like this really doesn't give much of the story of the depth that was given with what was going on in the first issue. And I'm hoping that they get back to that in issue 3. Okay, moving along. DC Elseworlds Batman Gotham by Gaslight, A League for Justice number 5 for $4.99. Publisher is DC Comics, written by Andy Diggle. I thought it was co-written by someone else, but apparently this issue wasn't. Artist is Leandro Fernandez with colors by Matt Hollingsworth. Lettering by Sun Boland. Cover artists are Fernandez and Hollingsworth and Freddie Williams too, and Ashley Wood had the variants. Editors are Ben Meirez and Ash Padilla. Genre, science fiction superhero, released November 12th, 2025. What it's about. It's a race against time as a League for Justice unravels Zod's sinister world-ending plans. But as the death of all humanity approaches, our heroes need more help. Will the warrior women of the lost Amazon civilization aid them, or is all hope lost? What I think. As a team of heroes split up with Zod imprisoned by the Amazons and Batman and Constantine learning where Luthor went, it's all pretty blasé for me. It's technically sound writing. The art's okay. I'm just like, get to the point. And they really didn't. They teased about the point midway through the story, and they tell you the reveal at the last panel of the issue. Not show it, told you. No. You don't tell the tease. You show the art. This is a comic book. As a tease to buy the next issue. Is that what you want from a comic? Or do you want to see the reveal and not wait for another month?
Yeah, it's a visual medium. Yeah.
So I was fairly nonplussed about this issue. Last issue got a 3 stars out of 5 because it was too lagging and dragging. And I said last time it needed to get to the point, and Diggle just isn't getting there. I'm going to give this 2.5. I'm gonna spoil the end. Oh no! Darkseid is next issue. Ooh! Darkseid's in the Phantom Zone, and it's or whatever, It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not thrilled. How about you boys? What do you think?
Well, Darkseid is everywhere, so
yeah. But anyway, let's see what we can come up with next. We have Comic Book Creator number 40 by TwoMorrows Publishing for $24.95. Various writers. It's a historical review and interviews with the late, great Dave Stevens, released October 22nd, 2025. This issue celebrates the life and art of the great Dave Stevens in a special double-sized book. Normally, Comic Book Creator's 80 pages. This is 160. Just completely devoted to Dave Stevens. For this deluxe issue, friends, fans, and family share testimonials, photos, and fascinating artifacts, plus a gallery of amazing artwork by the Rocketeer creator that have never been before seen in some cases. There's also 3 interviews with Dave conducted by comic book creator editor John B. Cook, 2 Q&As with Dave by guest associate editor Stephen C. Ringenberg, and the interview with Jeff Gelb that was recorded during the making of the Rocketeer motion picture. Dave's sister, Jennifer Balcom, also shares about her brother in an exclusive chat, and we also interviewed some of the closest. They also, not we, I wasn't involved. Sorry about that. Some of Dave's closest friends, including Michael Kaluta, about their memories of Dave. Also, there's a conversation with Kelvin Mao, the director of the 2022 film documentary, Dave Stevens, Drawn to Perfection, which we watched that, didn't we, Chris?
We were going to. We never got around to it.
Okay, we haven't gotten to it yet. All right. I just remember coming across it on TV about making the movie and its recent success on streaming services resulted in an entirely new generation of Dave Stevens fans, sporting this gorgeous, previously unpublished cover colored by Laura Martin. Now, this has taken me a while to get to and read through. And it's 160 pages. And I had seen some of this content before. Kind of hard not to, given how long it's been since Stevens passed away back in 2008. But this is a really nice package book that, as always with TwoMorrows, delivers exceptional coverage of the career and times of the artist. This new cover is absolutely gorgeous. I think Laura Martin did an absolutely bang-up job on the color work. I love the shadow effects, especially on the woman on the ground. The way the lighting is around her face and neck is just really nice. And then the shading across her arm.
Mm-hmm.
It looks almost photorealistic in a way, but it's not. It is very much, it's just really well done. It explores the work that Stevens did in the toy industry. I don't know if you guys know this, but he was the artist who designed the plates for the Mighty Men and Monster Maker art kit toy from Tommy Productions.
Did not.
And he also did package art for Masters of the Universe and other toys. He did the packages for Stinkor and a few other of the villains.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So there's lots of stuff to explore and discover in this book. And of course, I give it a 5-star. Let me see here. Where is that book? It's right here. Let's take a quick look at this bad boy. There's that gorgeous cover and nice reflective coating cover there. The back, you get to see his Rocketeer, his Aurora. The dog is just hilarious. But yeah, I want to see if I can. Now, I got to be careful. So I'm going to give you a warning. There is a little bit of nudity in the book. Not too much, but
But it is Dave Stevens, so.
Yeah. Well, no, it's an actual photo of Brink. I don't know if you know his wife.
Oh, okay.
Who was one of the models. But John, Mr. Herculoids fan, did you know he did a Herculoids comic?
No, I didn't. That's very cool.
This was back in the 70s. He did it for TV Stars #3.
Very cool.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to show that. But
wait, are you saying Brink Stevens was his wife?
Mm-hmm.
The B-movie actress Brink Stevens?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, that's really cool.
And there's some of the art packaging he did for Stinkor.
Cool.
That's not the only one he did. He did several of the characters.
Sorry, anybody who grew up in the 80s knows exactly what Brink looks like naked.
Yeah. So anyway, But yeah,
I never made that connection. That's pretty cool.
And of course, they talk about his relationship with Jack Kirby when he was young. So there's just a lot of really cool things in here that you find out. I'm trying to find the other thing here. Well, you guys know the famous scene where the Rocketeer's girlfriend gets caught with the weird. She's covering herself up on her chest like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's Brink.
I have actually seen that photo before. Yeah, I still never made that connection. That's crazy.
So now you know. Now you know who was modeling for that comic for the Rocketeer. But anyway, yeah, it's just everybody assumed it was like Betty Page.
Oh, Brink was stunning back in the day.
Yeah. And there's a whole interview on Brink as well, or article on Brink and her history and stuff. So, and how she did poses for a lot of the stuff that he did. So, just a really good book. Highest recommendation. Okay.
I imagine for Brink, like in the 80s and the 90s, walking out of the house or having clothes on was probably more odd than being naked for her.
I don't know about that, but anyway. Our next book is our throwback book of the week from 1987, Critters number 14 from Fantagraphics at a $2 cover price. Writers and artists featured were Stan Sakai for Usagi Yojimbo. Look at that gorgeous cover. Freddie Milton from Gnuff and Stephen A. Galashi for Birthright 2, edited by Kim Thompson. Genre anthropomorphic stories, released July of 87. What it's about. Genosuke gets Usagi into some trouble, but he turns the tables on his friend at the end in Bounty Hunter 2. Freddie Milton's series Gnuff. Milton's a Danish comics artist that the story is adapted from the Danish work. Plays into the classic Pogo and Disney Ducks vibe. John will probably like seeing that in a moment. And Stephen Galachi's Birthright 2 series is a respectable science fiction romp. What did I think? Had to have this as soon as I saw the cover. I'm like, I never seen this. Whatever this is, I have to have it. It's got Usagi. Yeah, so it was like cool. Now the story inside, I've seen it before, but it's a fun short, so no harm there. I'd never seen this series before, so the remainder of the book was all new to me. Milton stuff I'm not familiar with him, but reading it, like I said, John, I think you'll be very pleased with what it is. It really didn't do much for me, but I think any Disney Ducks or Pogo fan would find it reasonably entertaining. Galucci's book, part of the book, is the hardest for me to review because it's part 4 of the story, and I have no other awareness of the story. So, while I wasn't completely lost, I really couldn't engage with the story either. It just wasn't enough story there, page-wise, The art was nice. If anything, though, this overall issue does make me want to consider back issue hunting for the entire series, which is quite a bit of stuff because it's like 60 issues. But anyway, I give this issue 4 out of 5 stars. Let's take a look at that. And I know you guys want your turn soon. But here's that cool cover. I mean, it's just you kind of like, is that really Stan Sakai? But it is. He had a different sort of vibe back then, a little bit. But I just love some of this. Look at the facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the I don't know. There we go. The way the line art is right there on, how he does the expressions outside on the edges. That's really well done with the Coco. Jinazuki's beard or face stubble is really well done.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
But I mean, jeez, man. Have you ever seen him that angry?
That guy could bend a face, man. I'll tell you.
But anyway, this is enough, John.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely see the Pogo and Carl Barks influence.
He actually does a lot of Disney Ducks books over in I can't remember the damn country. Danish.
The Netherlands.
Thank you. But yeah, I was just thinking this is really something that you would enjoy, John, if you find it.
Yeah, that looks really good.
And then, of course, we got to get the Goichi stuff. And, you know, that's a completely different turnaround, but yet
yeah,
it's still cool looking.
Very.
Three completely different art styles. So I would really enjoy it. Like, that was a really good find at the comic shop that John and I are going to visit this weekend. Okay. That was our throwback tonight. Okay, Chris. You go.
All right. This was Event Horizon Dark Descent. Publisher IDW Dark, writer Christian Ward, artist Tristan Jones, color Pip Martin, letterer Alex Ray, cover artist Jeffrey Allen Love, and various. Editor, who knows? Genre, sci-fi horror. Release date was August 2025 to November 19th, 2025.
That's issues
what it's
1
about.
through 3. Issues 1 through 3. There's still more issues to the story, but we'll go from there.
What it's about, the official prequel to the events of the movie. The series reveals the fate of the original Event Horizon crew. So, okay, I was excited for this book. I love Event Horizon. It's one of my favorite horror and sci-fi horror movies of all time. So I was very excited, and there's nothing really bad about this book per se. The art's very fitting. It's nicely done. The story just lacks a bit for me.
Yeah, I can see maybe why.
I don't really care for the idea of like a single demonic being causing all the mayhem. For me, the original movie portrayed the hell scenes so well, and they were so full of chaos, destruction, bloody mutilation, and insanity that the events of the comic are just kind of ho-hum in comparison. I imagine that the dimension of pure chaos as being the evil itself, or maybe not truly evil, but so devoid of any rationale, reason, or compassion that it instantly warped the minds of the crew and made them go insane. Quite Lovecraftian in my view. The comic moves along at a slow, leisurely pace, with Paimon actually causing all the chaos and mind warping. It might work for others to put a name and a face to the horror of that dimension, but for me, it just takes away and lessens what I had originally imagined, and I've basically lost interest at this point.
And that was as of issue 3, and I think there's like 2, maybe even 3 more issues, and that's, I mean, like you say, it's still okay. It's a 3-star. You gave it 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good book, and like I said, the art works. It's just the story. They tried, they put it in a box, and it doesn't belong in a box.
In your opinion,
Yes, in my opinion.
And I don't disagree with you. I understand where you're coming from. I thought some of the scenes were. It's still the same thing as what was in the book, or in the movie rather. but it was also kind of redundant of what was in the movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, so basically this demonic creature is playing the same trope with the next crew and the next crew and the next crew. And that's not how it should work. Everybody should have their own inner turmoils, their own inner demons that they have to face.
Mm-hmm.
So why would we face the same tropes? You wouldn't. And that's why I wasn't really impressed with it either. But you know, I wasn't impressed with it from issue 1, as you know. But yeah, you being a fan, I was like, okay, you let me know, and now you have. So okay, let's go on to the next one, and that is Rajan's.
Right. Fantastic Four Gargoyles #1. Publisher Marvel, writer Greg Weisman, artist Enid Balaam on pencils and inks, and Raul Angulo on colors. Lettering VC's Joe Caramagna. Cover artist, which you're seeing here, is Tom Clark, with variants by Gabrielle Delato, Peach Momoko, Luciano Vecchio, and Scotty Young. Editor is Michelle Marchese. Designer is Gabriel Mata. Genre, fantasy, action, adventure, superhero. Release date, October 15th, 2025. Rating, all ages. What it's about? Gargoyles creator and acclaimed Marvel writer Greg Weisman brings the Gargoyles to the Baxter Building alongside star artist Enid Balaam. Danger strikes when the supervillain Diablo learns stone gargoyles may hold the secret to eternal life, but the gargoyles aren't about to let him leech the blood of their own. Fortunately, they've got the help of expert Diablo bashers, the Fantastic Four. Plus, Tony Stark, David Xanatos compare facial hair. Marvel's own gargoyle, Isaac Christians, bonds with his new kin, and more. You won't want to miss this collision of beloved universes. So, think for a moment, if you will, of all the superheroes that are based in and around New York City. We have Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Daredevil, the Ninja Turtles, just to name a few. So what happens when these heroes meet? Now, of course, the Marvel characters interact with each other all the time. Ever since watching Gargoyles on TV back in 1994, I always wondered what would happen if some Marvel heroes met the Manhattan Clan. Well, thanks to Greg Weisman, I need not wonder any longer because he has brought the Fantastic Four and the Gargoyles together in not one, but two stories, one from Marvel and one from Dynamite. Now, while this is more Marvel-centric, it has a bit of a Dynamite feel as well, particularly in the opening scene, which feels like it would be right at home in Dynamite's Gargoyles Demona miniseries, which I've been reviewing on the show. But once the action switches to New York, it feels more Marvel. And it's cool to see Diablo, the Grey Gargoyle, and Dragon Man, but it's the Gargoyle, a.k.a. Isaac Christians, that has the best arc. And even though this story is reportedly not canon with the regular Marvel and Gargoyles books, it is nice to consider the possibilities with what happens to Gargoyle here. I like how Weisman and Balaam subvert expectations by not having some huge misunderstanding that leads to the heroes fighting and grudgingly respecting each other in the end. Here, both groups admire and respect each other from the start, and I like that. The artwork is very nice. Balaam's line work is solid, and Angulo does a nice job with the colors, but the best thing about this story is the pacing. Nothing feels too long or too short. The story flows nicely, and the layout makes the artwork easy to follow. So all in all, I think this is a terrific issue.
And what did I think? Well, I think Weisman really can be an underrated writer sometimes. Cool that he brought in the Isaac Christian's gargoyle into the story. We haven't seen him in ages. At least I hadn't. I'm thinking the 80s is the last time I really remember seeing that character in the Defenders. But he did a really nice story and element for him, and I was like, yeah, that's really cool. John gives it a 5, and I understand perfectly why he would do that. I give it a 4.5. I'm not quite as keen on it. Something about Balam's art just doesn't quite click for me. But I mean, it's good, but it's better than the other one. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment.
Yes.
But let's have John come up once in center and show some of the art.
Okay, so the prologue to the story takes place in Valencia, Spain in 1094. So here's a couple of pages of the interior art. And like I said, I felt this scene could have been right at home in the Gargoyles Demona miniseries.
Yeah, I can see that.
I really like it. And then this is the double page splash of, the heroes meeting each other for the first time. And again, he draws it, as if there's going to be a huge confrontation, and then there turns out not to be.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would have really liked to see maybe Goliath and the Thing go at it, but
Yeah, that would have been cool. So let me see here.
I think Goliath is too savvy, though. I mean, I could see Ben going after Goliath and Reed going, "Hey, stop! No!" But I think I think Goliath, he's too cool of a customer.
I can see that.
He doesn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. He can go into a blood rage or something like that if with good cause, but I just think he's just more even keel of a character. Am I mistaking that, John?
No, I agree.
Okay.
So here's a gray gargoyle. And of course, he's causing a diversion, and he ends up turning both Angela and Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, into stone. And of course, Reed was trying to save somebody in the process. So that's why he's elongated like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me see.
That is a really cool scene, though.
It is. It is very cool. And then here is let's see. Here is the Isaac Christian's gargoyle with meeting the Manhattan Clan for the first time. Right. I really like the artwork on that page.
Yeah. It worked out very well.
Very nice.
I think that's enough of that. we should move to the next one.
Oh, can I show just one more page?
Okay.
This will go into the
next one.
But this page right here, I really like the layout of this page. I
don't, but I understand why you might. It has that broken, shattered universe type multiverse feel to it, and it also has that kind of a stained glass feel to it as well.
Yeah, but okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah, we got to get on to the next one because we got lots to talk about, and you have Gargoyles Fantastic Four #1.
Yes, so this is the other story. Publisher Dynamite Entertainment, writer again, Greg Weisman. Artist is George Cambadeus, and I never know if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So sorry, George, if I'm not. But he did all of the artwork, pencils, inks, and colors. Lettering is Jeff Eckelberry. Cover artist is Lucio Perillo. I really like this cover that you're seeing here, with variants by Declan Shalvey, Amanda Connor, Mark Bagley, and Nicola Baldari. Editor and designer is Nate Cosby. Genre, fantasy, action, adventure, superhero. Release date, November 12th, 2025. Rating is teen. What it's about: Disney's Stone Guardians meet Marvel's first family. When the Manhattan Clan are invited on a tour of the world-famous Baxter Building, the high-tech home of the Fantastic Four, things quickly go from impressive to destructive when Cold Steel joins forces with the Dragon Man to unleash the terror that is Annihilus, trapping Franklin, Valeria, and Nash in the negative zone in the process. Now, both of these heroic extended families, Enchanted Stone and Superhuman alike, must team up in an all-out effort to save their children, their city, and their whole world from destruction. So, and here we have the second story. Now, while it isn't explicitly stated, this story presumably takes place shortly after the events of the first story. Franklin and Valeria Richard and the Gargoyle youth Nash, who had cameos in the first story, are front and center here. Also featured are Yuri Topolov, the 1960s Hulk adversary, and his son Kondraty, the Gremlin/Titanium Man, as well as the Mole Man, a nihilist, and a host of kaiju. While this is a fun issue, I don't think it's as strong as the Marvel issue. I think there's too much going on with too many characters, and I just don't think the story flows as well in this issue. And a big reason why is the page layout, which I'll show you in a minute. So after the first 3 pages, the layout shifts to depict 2 events happening simultaneously. Reed, Sue, Goliath, Elisa, Brooklyn, Katana, Nash, Franklin, and Valeria are working on an anti-kaiju compound while dealing with the Topolovs, the Negative Zone, and Annihilus in the top 2/3 of the page. Meanwhile, Ben, Johnny, Broadway, and Angela are busy fighting the kaiju in the bottom third of the page, and this goes on for 22 pages. And I found it rather jarring when I first read it. And as for the artwork, it's really a mixed bag. I think the kaiju designs are cool. I think the gargoyles look nice, but the humans look okay. Johnny in Flame On mode looks strange to me, and I'm sorry, I do not care for Cambadeus's version of the Thing. So while this issue isn't bad, the Marvel issue is much better in my opinion. As for the covers, I love the Perillo cover, but my favorite has to be the Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti cover, which is an homage to Fantastic Four number 82, and I can show that if you don't have it. Oh, there it is.
What do I think? I thought this story sucked. I hated this story. I'm sorry. While I admire Wiseman's knowledge of Marvel history, and I had totally forgotten Topolov, who was the 1960s Gargoyle, and the history of the Topolovs, I really don't care about those villains either. They're just kind of like lame duck villains, you know? In fact, it felt like a lot of lame duck villains, with the exception of Annihilus, were in this. So I was just like, couldn't we come up with something a little bit better, you know? But it felt more like a not a funny haha, but more cartoony and less intense than the Marvel issue. Does that make sense?
Oh, the art's definitely more cartoony.
Well, I'm not talking about just the art. I'm talking about just the whole way it's presented story wise. It feels more like Greg Weisman writing a cartoon more than a comic. But anyway, as far as you agree, I agree with you. There's too many characters and not enough focus. Combinus, I don't know what it is about him. I used to like his stuff years ago, but I'm just kind of, whatever. I'm done. Best thing though about this book was the Connor Palmieri homage, as depicted here. As you can see, this is Amanda Connor's version on the left, and of course the original classic Kirby cover on the right. John, you gave it what did you give it?
A 3.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my camera's in the way. I couldn't see the screen well enough. I gave it a 2. So let's go ahead. I don't know. Hold on a second. Let's find out. You go ahead and look at. I'll see if I actually have some art here. No, I don't. Okay.
Okay. So again, this is the first page, and I'll show the front. I'll show the things front in a bit, but again, I don't like George's version of the thing at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird looking. It doesn't have the rock weight to it. It's just like there's this little fine crackly lines on this blob, right?
Yeah. So here's page 2 and 3, and again, like I said, I think some of the creature designs are cool. But then you turn the page, and then you get, this is the layout thing. You get, top 2/3 are Reed and Company, and the bottom of the third is 4 characters fighting the kaiju. And again, Johnny in flame on mode just looks strange to me.
It's not bad. I've seen worse.
Right. It's a lot worse.
All right, and let me see if I can.
Sorry if you hear me crunching food. I'm didn't get to have dinner, and being diabetic, I need to eat something before I have a crash.
So here's some front views of the thing, and it's like, yeah, just no.
That is a really weird shadow job on the right. Don't you think, Chris?
I mean, it's a little excessive, but I can see the reasoning for it.
Okay.
Was there anything else you wanted to show on that book?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then. Our next book got messed up in my review somehow, but it's HECTOR PLASM, Hunt the Bigfoot #2. Let me go get it. Oh, there it is. And I will switch off this way. And this is Image Comics, written by Benito Sereno, drawn by Derek Hunter, with let me check real quick. No, it's Spencer. Spencer holds the color. Okay. And of course, just a second. We've got a visitor. You gonna get up here? You gonna get up here? There he is, everybody. There's the monster.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Midnight Monster.
Yes. I gained weight, everybody. I gained. I also tore my master's arm up. For all of you wondering what this is from a cat scratch. So I'm just keeping it covered so it doesn't get infected or something. But it's been okay. You had your attention. Yes, you did. Everybody got to see you. No, I want to go. I gotta do stuff. Anyway, we lost some of the art. We lost some of our graphics that we've done. Anyway, this came out last week, or either last week or yesterday, and I like the cover. This is done by Derek Hunter, so it shows reflective of the artwork on the inside. Last issue, the main cover was drawn by Ryan Otley. Then this artwork is so different from. It's not this massively different from Ryan Otley per se. There's certain similarities in their styles, but if you look in the interior, you can see a little more of the Rick and Morty type style.
Yep.
And so I prefer it when your interior art shows on the cover. Story wise, still pretty good. I'm enjoying it. 2 out of this is the second of 3 issues, so pretty cool. Here's all the variant back covers on the back to show you all of them. I would have preferred, as I said in issue 1, just to have Nate Bellegarde do the whole book. And that's not a knock against Derek Hunter. It's just that Nate Bellegarde created the character years ago, and I'd rather have the guy who created the character draw the book. That's just my opinion. But overall, it's okay. I mean, there's some cool stuff going on. But I mean, you get that kind of weird looking face there,
right?
It's like, yeah, but it's done consistently. Even though that it is, but it is, you can see, yes, it's really exaggerated on the close up there. But if you go to that one, it's still you can still see it's there.
Right.
Yeah. So it's okay. I'm not disliking it. Sometimes I think his ink line gets a little bit rough. Like the edges on her glasses are just a little too rough for me.
But that's intentional, probably, right?
Yes, it is. I just I prefer it to be a little thinner. That's all. But it is done intentionally. So, what do you say?
I like my inks like I like my plate, clean.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go back to the graphics here. I do want to say that Benito Cereno seems to be having a better go at it on this property than he was on Blood and Thunder, which I've been reviewing. That plot was way too paint by numbers, and that first arc's conclusion failed miserably for me. Here he seems to be having a lot more fun with it. And like I said, the art by Derek Hunter still falls short for me because I want Bellegarde. But as far as the actual technical work, it's fine. And I am glad he got to do the cover this time. But if I'm being honest, if this wasn't just if this was a regular ongoing, I'd be dropping it. But it's a 3-issue miniseries. Let me see where it goes, and let's see if it pulls it all together for me at the end. Okay?
Yep.
Our next book. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Okay, Chris, there's yours.
All right. This is It Killed Everyone But Me. And boy, am I glad. Publisher Mad Cave Studios. Writer Ryan Parrott. Artist Letizia Cadenici. Colorist Alessandro Santoro. Letterer Taylor Esposito. Cover A is Josh Hickson. Cover B is Trevor Henderson. Editor is James B. Emmett. Genre horror. Released November 19th, 2025. What it's about. As the heathen takes a perverse pleasure in hunting down the children of Riverton Massacre, in the past, Sutton and Ian are forced to reveal their own dark secrets to the heathen in the present if they have any hope of saving Mason in time. Not necessarily bad, but boring, uninspired art, along with a story that just drags, like so drags, led me to not be able to finish this one. It's almost like the writer was forced to stretch a 2-issue story into a 6 or more issue series. Like seriously, The Witch was less slow burn than this. Just don't understand today's writers. It's almost like they see somebody else's stuff and say, hey, I could do that. And then they write maybe a quarter of a story and try to stretch it out. We've seen this concept so many times in movies, and let me tell you, I've seen it done better and worse, but at least it was over and done within an hour, 30 minutes or less. The real torture is happening to me. The poor reader, having to wait between the issues of this stuff, not the characters in the story. That's not what I wanted. And this series started off so well, I gave it a 4-star rating for issue 1, but at 3, I'm out of here.
And you gave it a 1. I mean,
I did.
Wow. I mean, it really surprises me that you tanked that far in 2 issues.
I just did not care for this issue. Like I said, the art was just really uninspired. Like it was just the coloring was uninspired. The line art was uninspired. And that's what really gets me through a story most of the time. Mm-hmm. And just wasn't there for me. So,
I mean, I think part of it is some of these books are taking longer and longer to even ship out on schedule. And part of that is because of distribution. Right. But a lot of books are like taking longer and longer to get done, and then the quality isn't there. And you're like, why is this taking so long? You should have done this in a third of the time.
Right.
And like you said, I can do that. And then they take like this little snippet of what they remember from the story, and then they have no story of their own to tell. And so they're trying to stretch out this kernel of a story into something there's nothing there.
Right.
And I think that's happening a lot in comics these days, for younger writers especially. There's too many writers who are recycling their comic book and DVD collections. Basically.
It's true. Yeah. Like if you're writing comics, you need to read and study more than just comics.
And movies.
Yes. Yes.
You do have to, like, there's a lot of people in fandom that will say, when we bring in writers from other media, not television, but prose fiction authors, they don't know how to write comics. They don't know. Actually, they're the ones that actually do it right usually. Yeah. So
it's easier to teach a writer, an actual talented writer, to write in a comic, to script out in a comic format, than it is to teach a non-talented writer who knows how to do it, a comic format to write properly.
Right. So, is this kind of like part of the reason why you feel like you need to, like, you've been burned out a little bit and need to step away from this, I think?
That's part of it. Yeah. A lot of the stuff has just been like really uninspiring.
Okay. Our next book is Megaton Man, Multimensions, $40 from Cosmic Lion Productions. Writer and artist Don Simpson and a cast of thousands. actually 60, but but still. Genre science, not science fiction, superhero satire and humor. Released late October, early November 2025. I think I got mine on November 4th because it was crowdfunded. What it's about: 60 indie creators do their takes, team ups, and crossovers on Don Simpson's universe of characters in a treasury-sized full-color edition. Featuring Don Simpson, Jim Rudd, Joe Ely Corrales III, and Terry Sue Wood, Alan Davis, Steve Stegelin, Grant Laker, Michael T. Gibber, and many more. And many of these people have been on our show as guests.
Yes, they have.
So, what did I think? Truth be told, at the time of this review, I'm still reading through it. It's over 200 pages, and there's just a whole lot of amazing artwork to read. And at the size of this book, I just sit and stare at the pages and just soak it in, man. It's hard not to. You just gotta like, wow, look at this stuff. I'm maybe halfway, a little bit more than halfway through, and I probably won't get it fully read until next year, to be honest, because I've always got to read other things. But let's take a look at this this bad boy. Look at the size of this. It just, yeah.
That's a nice size book.
Oh yeah. We'll start with Alan Davis.
Very nice.
Yeah, doing his homage to his Excalibur cover with the characters of Don Simpson. That's cool. Then there's a little bit of play with what's his name? Brett Morrison or whatever. Talking about different dimensions, but also trying to do it a little bit like Scott McCloud.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's just every different artist style is something new to look at and explore, and it's Improbable Girl and Wonder Kitty. It's just really cool stuff here. And some of this stuff is drawn by Simpson, and some of it's drawn by other people, of course. But he's got mixed up with Gary Carlson from the Night Watchman and the Big Bang universe in this stuff.
Very nice.
I love this homage to Adventure Comics. read what it says on their buzzers.
That's funny.
That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, it's there's just a lot of really cool stuff in here. Gotta show these. Some people might get mad because it's got Milo Trent in it. Deal with it. It's just good art.
Cool.
Very nice.
So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely worth your $40, and go find this online and pick it up. It's just worth your time. Okay, and of course, since even though I haven't finished it, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And I'll come back and revisit this and talk about my favorite stories or elements when I'm done reading it. But just in terms of my enjoyment so far of reading the book, it's been wonderfully entertaining and absolutely worth the price of the book. I haven't come across anything that I found lackluster or demonstrably lesser than any other component. I don't think you guys did either, as I just randomly picked things out of the book.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's just a very well curated collection. And normally I would have waited to rate, but I just, I've had it for a while now, and I wanted to get it read. But I skimmed through the back half, and I didn't see anything that raised any red flags for me on a cursory glance. So I'm comfortable giving it a 4 for now. And after I've done reading it, maybe we'll revisit and give it a higher score yet. We'll see. Okay, Chris.
All right, this is The Pale Knight number 6. Publisher Mad Cave Studios. Writer Peter Milligan. Artist Val Rodriguez. Colors Chris Peter. Lettering Dave Sharp. Cover artist Nick Marinkovic. Editor Marla Isaac. Genre Dark Fantasy Horror. Release date October 29th, 2025. This is a rating of Teen Plus. What it's about. The Pale Knight's journey reaches its terrible end. Should a good man do a terrible thing even if it means the life of his son? And can death be trusted to keep his side of the deal? Meanwhile, Aaron finds that love can be as fickle as death and just as dangerous. All this and more in the concluding issue of The Pale Knight. So a very uninspired and expected end to a rather unique and captivating story. I don't know what it is with writers these days. I have lost count of the number of good comics that just kick the reader in the proverbial nuts with a ridiculous, uninspired, or totally expected, unsatisfying end. We've talked about it multiple times on this show. I was captivated by the story of Sir Hugh making a deal with death for the life of his son. I was immersed in plague-ridden 14th century England that the art portrayed so well. But in the midst of all that, there were illogical decisions about character development, like the utterly uncharacteristic and out of nowhere diversion of Crispin, the squire, being a homicidal rapist. That just literally popped up out of nowhere. Like there was nothing foreshadowing this. I don't know what this has accomplished. So the casual, almost bored way in which Sir Hugh finally completes his pact to kill Gilbert the Pure, or the completely expected ending where death, of course, spares Hugh's son and takes another member of his family. Only to end the story with, oh, well, hey, that's death for you. You can't escape that. What are you going to do, I've been completely baffled by how Milligan just completely dropped the ball in the story, especially at the end. Or maybe I'm just getting too old and jaded for this crap anymore.
Well, maybe, but no, I'm the one who's getting too old and jaded for this crap anymore.
No, I'm old and jaded. No, I'm old and jaded. You're both old and jaded.
Anyway, the characters throughout the story have become so despicable and unlikable that I gave up on the series 2 issues ago. So I have to commend you for at least finishing it. So props there, Chris. But yes, I totally get why you got disappointed in this, especially when you were so very happy with the first 2 issues of the book.
Yeah, and the art was still fantastic. I still really love the art. That did not drop in quality at all. That was top-notch throughout the book.
So you gave this a 2.5. Is that for the issue or for the whole series?
That's for the ending.
Okay. What would you say for the whole series?
For the whole series, probably like a 3, maybe 3.5.
Okay. Okay, John, you're up next.
All right. Street Sharks, number 2 of 5. Publisher, IDW Publishing. Writer, Stephanie Williams. Artists are Ariel Medell on pencils and inks and Valentina Pinto on colors, with Jonathan Dobbs as the color assistant. Lettering is Jeff Eckleberry. The cover artist is Phil Murphy, which you're seeing right here, with variants by Mateus Santaluco and Elizabeth Beals. Editor Nicholas Nino. Designer Nathan Wittick. Genre action adventure superhero. Release date November 12th, 2025. Rating all ages. What's about? The fin-kicking adventures continue. Dr. Paradigm is hiding out somewhere in Fishin' City. The Street Sharks may have stopped the mad scientist and his Seviet goons, but they couldn't capture him. Even with their arch nemesis at large, they'll have to stop the search when a new big-top circus mysteriously appears in the waterfront district. To the public, it seems like a regular, fun-loving circus. But the sharks are hearing rumors about strange noises around the circus at night. Surely this couldn't possibly be connected to Dr. Paradigm's latest schemes, right? Okay, so a circus has suddenly mysteriously appeared in Vision City. Now, if the movies Seven Faces of Dr. Lowe and Something Wicked This Way Comes have taught me anything, it's that whenever a circus suddenly and mysteriously appears in your town, you can bet that something strange is going on. Such is the predicament the sharks find themselves in. With this second issue, Williams, Medell, and Pinto prove that the first issue was no fluke and demonstrate once again why I think they're the ideal team for the book. Williams delivers a story that balances fin-kicking action with a positive message about using your special abilities to do good and help others, which I like very much. Medell once again does a great job of drawing the sharks on model and making the action easy to follow. Plus, his creature designs for the mutated circus performers are great, and I do also believe this is the first time I've seen the sharks wearing t-shirts, which was also kind of cool. And once again, Pinto brings everything to life in vibrant color. I found this to be a really fun issue.
I like the design of the cover here by Beals. It's that meme. It's just that the girl's looking over instead of the guy. But anyway, not being a fan of the original cartoon, I'm struggling to get into the book. I do feel that it has an appeal for younger readers, and I agree with you, John, that the creative team seems to capture the brand model very well. But in terms of this particular story, I was a little underwhelmed, in part because I'm not familiar with the characters, probably, and maybe because the plot of the Mysterious Circle has been done to death so many times before, and there just wasn't anything that really seemed all that unique to me about this story. But I'm glad you're enjoying the book anyway. And John gives it a 5. And I'll give it.
And props for giving a shout out to the flatter. That rarely ever happens.
Yeah, that's the color assistant. Yes. And here's the art.
Very on model.
Yeah,
yes.
the characters are on model, but to me, it's kind of a weird. I'm not sure how to follow that action back and forth myself, but I was not. This is where they're all wearing t-shirts or tank tops as well. So,
yep.
Well, I'm wondering if the lines, the white speed lines there, are like telling you which direction to go.
Yeah, they are to some extent, but I don't know.
It is a little hard to follow.
Yeah, I'm more. I don't know. Anyway, this was cool. I thought these.
Yeah,
were really good.
Here's some of the circus performers in their mutated forms, and I really liked them. I thought those designs were great.
Yeah, I thought that these are really much more well designed than the pages for the sharks in some ways. The walrus says the ringmaster. Yeah, and whatever kind of fish Nemo.
Clownfish. It's a clownfish.
Yeah. It's like that's just that looks cool.
It does, but they should have had him changing from male to female because clownfish are hermaphroditic. Science!
You woke bastard. You know better than to do that. I say that facetiously, by the way. But it's just it's okay. I didn't really understand what kind of what Tiny Thunder's supposed to be.
Which one is Tommy Thunder?
Tiny Thunder's the one with the who's lifting the barbell.
Is that an elephant?
That's why I'm not. I don't think it's an elephant because it doesn't look like an elephant. They're supposed to be aquatic. That's what I was like.
I have no idea what that is. Then,
yeah, I'm not sure either. Actually,
yeah, that one's a little bit off for me. That's why I kind of gave it a 3. Was that little things like that. Okay, our next book is The Twilight Zone #2 for $4.99. IW Darkest publisher. Writer, artist, and letterer is Tom Scioli. Designer is Sandy Tanaka. Editors is Nicholas Nino and Ellen Bonner. Or Bonner. Anyway, horror science fiction, released November 19th, 2025, with an age rating of 14+. What it's about: at the farthest reaches of the galaxy, beyond this horizon of humanity, and hopes of salvation, a spaceship of slumbering astronauts journeys in search of intelligent alien life. They've left behind their families, their planet, their past, and all the trauma and comforts those things contain. But our crew of adventurers will find their pasts are never that far behind. And that intelligent alien life has its own plans for them and their future in the Twilight Zone. I love the cover here by Scioli, by the way. But oh, great! We lost another page here. All right. Basically, the issue with this book is that Chris would like die trying to read it.
Walls of text.
It's not just walls of text. It's like the lettering is like walls of text. It's so crazy.
I'm just of the opinion that comics should not contain walls of text.
Oh, wow.
You know, if I want to read a novel, I'll read a novel.
Yeah. And it's like, you know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is just talking heads, man.
I mean, it looks cool as far as the art, but there's just so much dialogue and so much text.
Man, I feel bad for that letterer.
He did it all himself.
Oh, one person did this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He wrote it, he drew it, he lettered it. So he did all the design of all of it on top of it, you know, to set all that stuff, to make space for the lettering. I still think you needed an editor to cut some of this dialogue down. I mean, was it really necessary?
Yeah. So in the words of the great Neil Adams, stop it. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah. You know, I enjoyed the story for what it was. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the story. It's just there's just so much dialogue. You know, it's like if this was like made into a film or an episode of Twilight Zone, it'd be perfect. But when it's like when you're writing for screen, there's very little direction of the visuals. That's all determined by your director and your other people. And okay, right. Yes, you're doing that as the comic book creator. You're designing it, but okay, now you've got this wall of dialogue. Well, it's fine on a screen. People are talking. It goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you read it on a page, visually, it slows things down a little bit. So it's a very dense read.
Yeah. And I understand that the Twilight Zone is a bit more verbose and it's a bit more, nerdy and intellectual, and there is more dialogue typically, but that's a bit overdoing it.
So I gave this one a 3.5 because this was actually an improvement over the story of the first issue, even though it has all that dialogue. I only gave the first issue 2 stars. See the September 25th episode for that. But since it was an improvement story-wise, in terms of content of what the story was about and everything, I'll keep reading the series. I just hope it doesn't end up being hit and miss with a really bad stinker here and a really good episode here type thing. Each story is self-contained, so we'll see. And we have Viking Moon #2 from Image Comics, written by
and that is a banging cover, man.
Yep. Artist for Marcella Frusen, lettering by Joe Martin, title logo by Olivia Pruitt. Covers are Frusen ×2, Philip Xavier, and Jerome Moffray, Mirko Kolak, and Guy Major ×2 as well. Genre horror adventure, rating Teen Plus. November 19th, 2025 is when it released. Werewolves versus Vikings. Ulf and his tribe of Vikings have sought a new life among the green, untamed lands of a new world. Then they have found horror and death. Barely surviving his first encounter with the native people and their supernatural protectors, Ulf seeks shelter for the people amongst the ruins of the Leif Erikson settlement from decades earlier. Not a good idea. With just about any other writer, I'd be less than enthused. I have seen better stories from Joe Pruitt, but there is an earnestness in the story. I can tell he has done his research. He has done this. He's trying to play up certain things from historical records and stuff. I understand what he's doing. It just feels less like a comic, and again, more like an elevator pitch for a movie. Which, given that Joe's kind of delved into that whole realm of Hollywood, I suppose that tracks. I can actually almost see him teaming up with Kevin Van Hook, who we've talked about in the past, with Kevin as director, and getting it made as a movie. With the only problem with now, how would you make enough werewolf costumes and make it work? And we know that's a problem because we recently reviewed a movie called Werewolf Castle, and that was one of the biggest problems we had with the film was the bad werewolf costumes.
Right.
But I do suspect that with Van Hook and Pruitt's connections in Hollywood, they would, if they were to get picked up, they'd get a better budget. And we can afford it. But I digress. The art by Marcelo Frusen is still fairly solid. I think his color palette's a little too dark at times. But since I don't get to see the art process, that could just be me. I would actually love to see a black and white stripped version of this with just the line art. Just to see how much of what he's doing and layering in the colors. Because you can see there's on this cover, there's 5 layers of color in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least 5 layers. And then that's the layer of the sky. And then you've got the layers of the muted brown gray of the wood, and then there's the body and shadow that he's standing over, and it's just there's just a lot of stuff going on, And
it's a lot of red.
It is, but it's also interesting that he can keep that going while. Let me see if I can get this in. Yeah, I can. You can see this is not really red. It's a type of rustic brown.
It's pink to me. It looks pink to me, but
okay, all right. Yeah. Well, it's like that. It's like Georgia clay.
Right.
Okay. Which has a pinkish hue to it, but it also that has that rustic brown quality. So we're both right, I guess.
Right.
But I like how the sword has the red of the blood here, but it's also got just enough of the blood splatter in there coming down. There's just certain things that it's fun, and there's just enough going on with the series story wise to make me keep reading because I'm curious to see where they take it next issue. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. Let's take a quick look at some of that as far as the actual book. There's the back cover as well. And I don't know, does it look more brown this way?
Yeah, it still looks pink to me, but
okay. Yeah. It could just be my eyesight. That's why I want to see what it looks like in black and white. See what
right.
I mean, you can see with this first page, his colors, he's adding dimensions of depth. You wouldn't have that third layer of trees in the fog in the background on the black and white page.
Right.
But still, it looks strong enough that it wouldn't necessarily be needed either.
And he's keeping it fairly monochromatic.
Yeah.
Which very much works with the cold chill feeling that it's trying to get across. So,
and then you get to another page and it's green,
which is a nice tonal shift. I like that.
And then it goes from the greens into a more of a darker tone again.
Yeah, the colors are very, very nice in this book. Very nice.
Yeah, I think he does a nice job.
Very nicely done. I'm
just curious, though, just how the black and white looks comparative, That it's just...
Well, does it look like he did color holds in that? Or like was there grayscale shading and there's color holds over it? Or is that all the colorist?
It's all him doing everything. So, I mean, there's different levels of how much of this is done by hand, traditional drawing, and how much of this is computer rendering, and how much of this is, this has a watercolorish feel to it.
It does. Well, the whole book kind of does a little bit.
Yeah, but
at least the backgrounds to me.
Yeah, but some of it also feels like it's very clearly digital to me. The close-up of these faces look very digital color to me. They don't really look the same quality of what I would get used to seeing for watercolor.
Very true. It just he found himself a good watercolor brush. Good digital watercolor brush.
But anyway, it's good stuff. I just we have to wait to see where it goes. All right. That's pretty much what we got for tonight as far as our reviews. I need to go back. Tomorrow we have Escanaba in the Moonlight. Escanaba in the Moonlight, right?
Yep. AKA my Jimmy took a shit.
Okay. but it's an esoteric Michigan semi-holiday comedy.
And it pretty much throws everything plus the kitchen sink into the mix.
Yeah, if you are a fan of the I can't think, but the brothers that I was telling you about, John, Canadians.
Oh, the McKenzie brothers.
Yes. Yeah. If you're a McKenzie brothers fan, if you're a person who lives in Wisconsin or Michigan, you're gonna love this film, I think. But,
Yeah, if you like deer hunting and alien abductions and that sort of thing, hey, it's right up your alley.
To me, this movie not only throws everything into the mix, it then throws it out the window.
we'll get to that tomorrow, but that's tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then it's going to be a crazy week next week. Monday we'll have Monday Manga. Tuesday, our scheduled guest is Ebony Toussaint of the webcomic Crash Heart on Webtoons. And we'll be talking with her. And then it'll be time for a break for us because it'll be Thanksgiving time and people are going to be spending time with their families. So we won't have a Friday show next week. We'll wait till December 5th for our next film. We were talking about it possibly being Fantastic Four First Family. Have you been able to find out whether you can get access to that, John?
I think I can, yes.
Okay.
It's about time you got Disney Plus, boy.
Yeah, you're not a real Disney fan until you got Disney Plus. Put in your Disney fan card. Anyway, that'll be what's going on for next week then. So that's if you want to reach out for me on social media, I'm available on Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven, at Muskrat Channel, Twitter X at LewisBrightRaven2. You can see more of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. We're watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis BrightRaven exclusively on YouTube. And email quotheravenlbrs@gmail.com. If I don't get back to you on that, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. If you want to talk to Chris, it's ghthrowingstones@gmail.com. And do you have a Throwing Stones episode this week?
No, but like I said, we're going to be doing one soon, I believe. So,
okay.
And I realize it's not Tuesday. I apologize, but if you haven't checked it out yet, go check out Bonsai Girl Reborn on Kickstarter by Glasshouse Graphics. Over $7,000 in less than 24 hours, and still going strong. So,
all right. Well, if that doesn't, I'm expecting that to go probably six-figure back.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
But anyway, we'll get to that on Tuesday, like you say. And of course, if you want to reach out to John, it's grayfigaro@hotmail.com. And what are you wearing, John? Because that microphone's in the way.
It's one of my Flash T-shirts.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I recognize it. When you said it, because the microphone goes right in his face, and I couldn't quite make it out.
They used to call me the Flash back in the day too, but for completely different reasons.
No, they just called you the Streak.
The Whiz.
Yeah. All right. And with that, we bid you adieu, Chris, as far as being a regular reviewer. You're always welcome back on Thursdays if you have something you want to talk about, of course.
Absolutely.
But I got the impression that it was just getting a little bit unfun to read.
Yeah. And when it's no longer fun to do it, I think it's time to just kind of hang up the hat. So, but again, like I said, I will be here Fridays and Tuesdays, so no worries.
And probably other times as well. We'll see.
And other times as well, absolutely, yes.
Alrighty then. So with that, we will see you tomorrow with the movie Escanaba and Moonlight. Quoth the Raven. Nevermore.
Nevermore.